Heyo.
Hi everyone. Welcome to today's game of Dice and Dynamics. I am your host, friend, confidant, and illicit lover in a winter's ball that we are hosting to uncover myths. Joining here with me today are a series of caterers who are spies planted for the opposition. Sam, Jason, Mark, and Mimi.
I swear to God, these are getting more elaborate every time you do that.
They're great. I love them. Like they make my day. Like I look forward to hearing what you say every single time.
I kind of want to know what my secret murder weapon is, guys. Can we just talk about that today?
Honestly, that'd be really funny as a joke.
The last we saw the party was they had left Kirsball saying goodbye to their many loved ones, headed through the jungle and landed in Mesro, where they met up with some old faces. So the doggo came to terms with himself and opted not to become a bure, which was a long and lengthy character decision and so much context for that. But we love it, and we love Solidaga for not dying.
We appreciate Solidaga for not dying.
We appreciate Sol for not dying. That would have sucked.
Mm-hmm.
We find the heroes. We find the heroes in the Hall of Champions, a long hallway where the party is flanked by statues and the final resting places of every beret that has ever served in Mesro. They are making their way to the Grand Hall, sort of the main portion of the Temple of Oteo, to find Fresney's bust and bust their way to him.
It's time to bust it open. It's okay, I'm done.
The energies today, y'all. The energies. The air is immaculate and cool. When the heavy door closes behind you, it shuts out all of the humidity and the heat.
All right, let's get this done and over with.
It's like a plan.
The meeting hall. What's the name of the place with the heads?
It was the audience chamber, right?
Seems about right. Are we actually at the sort of physical graspy hand teleporty thing?
No, you are in front of the door.
Oh.
And the graspy hand thing is at the far end of the tunnel.
Oh, well, then
Okay, then let's
walk that direction.
Yeah.
You walk forward, and you find yourselves at the dark orb full of shadow magic that's a teleporter.
I believe it was the main area. Was it the same place that I went to pray last night, actually?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, Sol would just aim for that.
Alright, is that what you're all thinking of as you cross through?
Yep.
Alright, you step into the inking portal, and you don't find yourselves disturbed at all like the last couple of times, especially for you, Solidago. It seems calm, and if any of you feel the touching of hands, it feels more like a polite escort, or a hand sort of urging you forward. And you soon find yourselves in the audience chamber, the great, grand, golden-tinted hall with the statue of a half-dragon, the busts, the ever-changing mosaic floor.
Juvanith will go over to the bust that they had the sort of face off in front of and look at Cole and say, do you want to do the honors? Sort of motioning at it.
You're muted.
I know, I've been running around. My freaking parents, you. Okay. Cole will look over the bust, then look at Duvanith and nod, approaching and resting a hand on it before extending his hand to whoever's willing to take it.
So we'll take
All
it.
right. The bust is of a relatively young man with a wide, squarish face. He has long, bone-straight hair that just sort of stops at the shoulders. And whoever took the statue took the time to immortalize him in a teasing half-smile with impossibly kind eyes. Very boyishly handsome.
Well, this is the first time I've ever seen him so young, I must say. It's not a very good look on him.
I'm not going to be too far into that. Juvanith will like put her hand on Soul's shoulder or grab his other hand and start making like a chain.
Jet will grab Duvanith's hand.
Look at us, four idiots holding hands.
We're like those kids like that like holding their hands to touch the electric fence.
Yeah, the electric fence.
God damn it.
All right, you all are holding hands. Koashak, your hand is on the bust. It is cold to the touch.
And he says Rasnisi's true name.
Which is?
Oh, no.
Ipampili.
And as you say that, it feels like your heart is being tugged out of your chest and pulled through the eye of a needle. And all of you find yourselves out of the audience chamber and under the thick jungle canopy. The area you're in is hotter than anywhere you've been, including Karkamar, by miles. The light has been choked out by the leaves overhead, and it is unnervingly silent. Any form of life outside of the thick, bland foliage is not there. It doesn't look like people have explored it as much as the bulk of the jungle has been explored, with various handholds or just signs of passing through. The four of you, with your general lack of knowledge of general awareness of how the jungle works, can detect that people have moved through the underbrush pretty quietly maybe a few days ago, but most notably Duvanith. You can smell something decomposing. It's not asperitic like the smell of undead, but more like a iron rich, like a butcher house or the speakeasy after you guys left.
Do you guys smell that?
Well,
That's very nasty.
I think we know who's that smell coming from.
So look around and see if we don't see a fucking snake man.
Okay. Are you taking are you just doing a sort of cursory look around, or are you taking the time to really look around you?
He would take the time to really look around because getting ambushed by a
Right.
snake is...
Oh, also, would Koajak recognize where they are?
You're definitely in the jungle. Make me a survival check, Kobushak, and Sam, make me a perception check.
Sweet. 10.
Duvanith is focusing her efforts on just staying generally alert, and she has like her hands down by her weapons.
So the doggo, taking a glance around, you definitely don't see a snake man. You don't see much of anything. The area you're in is pretty small, and while there's a lot of places to hide, it would be pretty obvious that someone was hiding at some point.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Koshak, what did you roll?
A 20.
Dirty?
Yeah, dirty 20.
Alright. So Koshak, getting a look around and getting a sort of your feet back in it, this definitely isn't Omu, and it's definitely not anywhere near it. The ground in Omu feels more unsaturated, and the ground here feels teeming with bacteria and bugs and ants. You've been here a few times, but not anytime recently.
I can tell you guys one thing. We are not in Omu, to be sure.
Where are we then?
That's a very good question. I know I've been here before, but I could not tell you which direction Omu is from here.
Now that there isn't a sort of immediate ambush threat, you said that there were signs that people had been coming and going, just that it wasn't it just wasn't like a high traffic type of movement, if that makes sense.
Yes, I feel like, again, with your guys' knowledge, and especially yours, Duvana, the people who moved through there, not high traffic and are not... They're also very accustomed to the jungle.
Okay. Duvanith is going to look for, within those tracks, she's going to look to see if she can determine a direction of travel.
All right. Make me a survival check. I think this is like your first one of the campaign.
16.
Yeah, it is.
Despite being the best guide in Chult.
Facts don't lie.
Taking a glance over it, you're able to determine several things. It's about a party of 4. One of them is probably a child, because the distancing of the feet and all that, and that they were traveling like directly ahead, so directly south.
Okay. Duvanith will say, so it looks like by these tracks, probably 4 people, a child headed, one of them being a child, headed that direction. I mean, I'm assuming that you want to be walking a child towards safety, so perhaps whatever settlements we should be looking for would be up ahead.
Theoretically.
I'm inclined to agree. Shall we?
Off we go.
Off we go.
Just keep our eyes open.
All right, Duvanith. I assume that you're going to take lead as the party sort of starts moving that way.
Yes. Following those footprints to the best of her ability.
Cole is going to be
survival
behind.
check as you guide them.
11.
Nice. You barely passed.
I have a +8.
Sometimes we all know like shit. It happens.
It's just been very
As the
consistent
four
as
of
of
you
late. Sorry.
through the foliage, the terrain is incredibly uneven. In the main part of the jungle, when it was uneven, it was in a way that was poetic and beautiful. Wild trees and waterfalls, but this is just unpredictable enough to be really freaking annoying. Overcome a hill just to have to pick yourselves over a log that's 3 times the size of a house, only to travel through a tunnel system. Just aggravating. Especially the parts where random spikes of obsidian will dig up through the earth, or you'll kind of travel through a clump of undead that are still tangled in vines. As you're moving, following the path of the people who walked before you, you come across a body strung up against a big tree. It appears to be a Yuanti, judging by the snake head, and it's been left out in such a position that when the sun would be higher, it would have been directly on that person, and you can tell by the extreme sun damage across the chest, and that the body has very little scavenger marks on it. And all four of you, taking a quick glance at it, can quickly recognize this as Sekalok.
Oh shit.
Koajak just kind of lets out a sigh and shakes his head, like runs his hand down his face.
Fuck.
Well, he was told not to come back.
Just because I'm curious, were you told not to come back?
Oh, no. Mm-mm.
No, that you weren't told to come back?
I mean,
you-
I was explicitly invited back. So to speak.
okay.
Okay, good. Would taking that down be
Don't touch it.
yeah, okay.
Alright, does the group continue?
Yes.
To continue tracking the people, you have to sort of step around closely the tree where the body is hung. And maybe 5 feet past that, you come across a crumbling stone archway that appears to just jut out of nowhere. It is overcome with foliage, but you can hear a very hushed conversation and the layered voices of people speaking in a thick tongue.
Does Koajak recognize the language at all? Even if he can't
Yes,
understand
they
what they're saying?
are speaking abyssal.
Koajak is
Look
going
at Koshak.
to step forward and clear his throat and announce himself in Abyssal, saying, "Hello, it is I, Koajak Eliwea, returning."
Alright, a map has been brought up. Let me know if you guys can see it.
That's
Excuse me.
loading. It's stuck at 90% for me. There we
Rosny's
go.
court.
Yes.
Court.
Ooh.
As you announce yourself, Koashak, the first person you see is a face all of you recognize, Koatlake. She has dropped whatever spell or makeup she might have had once, and you can just see iridescent scales alongside her cheek that sort of disappears under the hem of her clothes. And she's wearing a plain linen tunic, a very plain skirt, and boots. And she has a very tense expression. Just inches behind her is Mistili, the Kamatlan, that's sort of just curled behind her and lazily dozing in the scant air. Past her, you can see maybe 4 or 5 people, what remains of Rosnesi's court, and a Hydra, just sort of hanging out behind a crumbling half wall. Its many heads sort of curling and coiling in the air, poking at things. Koatlake will approach and look at Koashak with a sort of feverish, wild expression on her face, waiting for him to give her permission to speak.
Yes, Quadlake, what is it?
Hi. It's really
Hello?
great to see all of you guys. We haven't heard anything about you guys since you left. You guys have changed. Anyways, Koshak, she'll approach and hold out her hands to him, then pull them back and go, "Can I have permission?"
Koashak nods and reaches out his hands in turn.
She'll walk forward and place her hands on his shoulders, and she instantly starts fussing with his clothes, like brushing her fingers through his hair, wiping dirt off of his face. And she'll go, "Okay, so there's been a lot.
So I've heard.
Nishalan is fine. He's, I don't want to say lucid right now. He's in a lot of pain. And he isn't taking any food or water because he thinks everyone's planning to kill him, including me and including you. Just thought you should know that.
No, I was told shortly after he become extremely paranoid.
Yeah, it's been really good. And she'll pat her arms against his shoulder and then sort of look past him at the others. How have you guys been? I'm a
Koashak. Koashak will pull back, but he will offer his arm to Quatlake.
She latches onto it like a koala.
She gets a temple kiss.
Oh. We've been good. Took out the yeah, it's been a time.
Yeah.
How have you
Dirty,
been?
dirty, wet, still not a Yuanti.
Jet? Jet,
Hi.
Rasmus C wants to speak with you first.
Why?
Something about a sending?
Jet's gonna look at Cole.
What happened? What happened? What did I miss? My Discord shorted out for me.
Cole, I didn't send him a sending, did I?
You never sent him a sending. You sent Namira a sending.
I'm so confused. Why does he want to talk to me?
What about that sending stone?
I didn't know who it went to.
Anytime I use the sending stone, I used it to contact Rasnasi.
Yes, and and I had it, and you asked for it, and I gave it to you. That was about it, right? Yeah.
Yes. Jet has never sent anything to Rasnasi, only to Namira.
I was offering, but I don't think we did it. Wait, why does he want to talk to me?
He said that he was. Oh no, go on, Koshok, I'm sorry.
No, continue. I'm curious as well. I have a feeling.
I don't
but
know.
how did he hear about Jet?
So Frosty has been keeping an eye.
I figured.
Because, Jet's little buddy.
Wait, who?
Your little buddy.
Jet's gonna look at Cole again. What the fuck is she talking about?
It could be anything from Tyrion to Mistra.
No,
Your
your
winged
little
snake, Jet.
Oh,
Oh, yes. Rayland, that's right.
Jet's gonna grab Raylan out of his pocket. Him?
Raylan does like a little squirmy dance. And he's going to try and fidget out of your hold.
Oh, he had it like this, so Raylan was always free to get out anytime.
Raylan dips. He flies across to the other side.
He's been
Cole
spying
Cole
on us.
kind of looks like Cole kind of like smirks a little bit, and he's like,
You've been talking to Rayland about your thoughts a lot, haven't you?
I don't want to talk about this anymore. I don't want to talk to him either. And Jet literally just goes into the biggest child pout ever in the back. He's done.
Jet, you don't have much of a choice in
How
the matter.
close of an eye has he been keeping?
Wherever Rayland has been, I'm assuming that Rayland has seen.
There's been times where Raylan wasn't with me when I woke up. And I thought it was just because he left, but he kept coming back.
So, Yvonne had to deal with the Yuan-Ti, specifically with Rasnasi. I was reading the messages that the winged snakes would deliver.
Oh, they're just messages. Oh.
Jed goes into a full face blush and is hiding his face. He's done.
What did you think?
reaches over and pats him on the back.
I was under the impression that they might have been
Seeing through their eyes.
visually.
No, we tried that once. It didn't go so well.
What kind of things did they
I hate
write?
the short hair.
What kind of things did they write on the notes that came here? Like important detail things or everything?
Any of the messages that were just going I was reading everybody's mail.
Shit.
Also, if you think Frosty saw what you think he saw, he probably saw
I
it.
did want to think that.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Nothing.
Here's a Jet.
No, it is a sanctioned place that no one is allowed to do anything.
Are you?
This is why Castle never allowed small animals, no pets. They could just be familiars.
Castle Never?
What?
Is that what it's called?
I heard you say Castle Never too.
Oh no! Oh. No! Castle never allowed. Never mind.
Oh.
Probably be there, Duvana.
I thought I got bitten by a snake. Shit. So this. Fuck. Cole, I don't want to go.
You have to go, Jet. You don't have much of a choice.
I could run away.
One more thing.
Yes.
So there's a few topics that you shouldn't bring up around Nisa because he's sensitive.
Oh, he's sensitive. Okay, got it.
Don't. Okay, maybe you can bring that. Anyways, don't bring up how he looks. Don't compliment him on that. Because we'll get weird about it.
Snake ass?
Why the fact that he's rotting? Do you not smell that?
Duvan, he's rotting, remember?
Oh no, I can smell it.
She just got worse. Like the jungle just made her worse. I didn't know it could do that. Like,
Believe it or not, it actually made her better. You didn't know her before.
I've known her for a while. It is true. It's better.
Okay, but so there's a lot about that I'm not going to address because I have bigger concerns.
The subject.
Yeah, like reading all of my. Never mind. No.
Anyways,
I will throw you to a fucking crocodile. And
Where's there a crocodile around here, Jet?
I will find one.
See? And then Kojak leans over to her and says in Abyssal, see, he would fit right in.
she'll hide her expression behind a hand and then lean over, not bothering to like disguise herself in Abyssal, and she'll say, Kuali is safe.
Okay.
Namira is also safe. But don't bring them up. And
Understood.
if anything happens, and she'll kind of direct this to the full group, just blame it on me, okay? Just, if you guys step out of line, just blame it on me. Because Rosnasi can never kill me.
Why?
She'll look at Kowashak and give him a very knowing look, then back to the group. We just... privileges.
You know the Thanos thing? The Thanos and Gamora thing? That's basically...
Oh shit.
So yeah, he can never kill me. So just, if it gets bad, if it gets really bad, blame it on me, okay? Don't try to be heroes. Don't try to fall on the pike. Just blame it on me.
Can do.
Are we
Blame it on
good?
you.
Are we good? We're good? Okay.
Yes.
Do any of you need to take a moment to freshen yourselves up?
I didn't think for once kind of good.
Do you want to come for your... Not you, Jet. Who'll like you, whatever. So, do you want anything for your... this?
Jet is pissed.
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay.
Actually, if you do have polish, I wouldn't mind gussing up my ring. Make it shinier, obvious, you know.
What?
What
do you
nothing, you're
mean?
good.
Oh, they believe in monogamous marriage, and so he's going to try and advertise to Rasnasi that he's taken, as if it'll make a difference.
It'll make me feel better. Also, I just shouldn't talk to him. I should not talk to him.
Again, I'm wondering where you guys are getting this idea that you have a choice.
No. I'm saying that I have a problem with authority.
Giovanna will
I'm
just
saying
nod
you
along.
don't have a choice.
Okay. She'll put her hands back on Kowashak and sort of press her face into his chest, give him a very solid hug, then step back. All right. Wait. How are things in Port Nyanzaru?
Oh, Cole also gives Namir an actual, like, full body hug. He's never given anybody a hug as far as you guys can remember.
Kawalake?
Yeah, he gives Kawalake a hug.
Port Nyanzaru, not great is our understanding, but we can't really speak more to it than that. Just hearing.
That's about what I figured. Things went dark for me a month or two ago. All of the other agents in Port Nyanzaru, I don't, but that's all right. We're gonna get through this together. That's right, Koshak. Optimism. We're all gonna die today. Okay, good. Give it your best. He's waiting over there.
What did she just say?
It's fine, don't worry about it.
I kind of want to.
You can
But
worry about it later. Let's go.
Jet will follow.
All right. She'll take a step back and sort of gesture for you to go through, and she'll take a second, compose her expression, and look over to the Yuan-Ti that have gathered closer to Rosnacy and give a firm nod. And you can see that information pass along the Yuan-Ti until it reaches the figure at the great end.
Whee! Kojak starts walking.
Giovanna will stick very close to Kojak.
Same.
I was just dragging. Jet's begrudgingly behind, like he's gonna be like mumbling under his breath.
Okay, then So will say close to Jet.
Be such bullshit.
I'm sorry about Rayland.
All right.
The game is
Koshak,
paused.
as you get that close, you stop for dramatic effect, because the tension in the air permits you to, or just because that's about as close as you can address Rosnacy in the state he's in. Curled up in between the shadow of two great pillars is a half snake, half man. His top half is still muscular and wide, but the skin is pale and flaking off, exposing the tidings underneath. His hair is completely gone, and his face is almost completely wrapped in bandages. But even then, you can see that the soft cartilage of his face has begun to melt away, leaving his nose just kind of two slits in his face. His ears are not there. He's moments away from death. You recognize the modular tattoos that once spanned across his chest and shoulders, and he's still wearing a lot of the jewelry or ornaments that you remember seeing him in. And just a few feet away from him, chained up to the wall in iron chains that must have been imported just for him, is a figure you vaguely remember as Orvex, except this time his hair is in hundreds of tiny braids with beads, not like the braiding of Chult, but very ornamental.
Mm-hmm.
And the four of you can see that he has no recollection of you. He's taking you in like he's never seen you before. Rosnacy, on the other hand, definitely recognizes all of you, and he uncoils himself from bedding he has. Oh, bring it in beauty. Ooh. And his presence is intense. Despite his obvious lack of health and the sort of feral expression in his eyes as he's darting around, taking you all in, there's this magnetism, this heavy weight, like a blanket pulled over you in the middle of winter. It reminds you a little bit of when you met the wasted blonde man back in Camp Vengeance. Just the sort of innate
Charisma.
Yeah, there's very hard to forget. He will take a deep breath in, his lungs rattling, and he'll sort of turn his hand over all of you and say, he will say words. Give me a moment.
Sometimes words are hard.
Usually a good start. By the way. It's been a while.
It's been a minute.
He will not speak and instead let you all open the conversation.
Duvanis
You've been getting paranoid in your old age.
He'll flutter his eyelids and hold up a hand, blocking Koashak from his vision as he turns his attention towards Jet. You said to me last night, hopefully you don't run away next time, you little bitch. And then a time before that, when you held the sending stone that was meant for Ifan Tarora, you appear to be in a state of inebriation.
Oh shit.
I
didn't.
I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and assume you thought I was somebody else.
Okay, hold on. First, I thought you were the hag, because we were talking about someone watching us, and then we saw a creepy hag with like all the ants on us. So we thought it was a creepy hag. So I figured it out. Then when I felt it, I saw it, and it was like, oh, creepy hag's watching us. So I thought it was a creepy hag. I'm sorry, I didn't think it was you. I didn't actually think I sent you a message, because I didn't know, because I thought it was a broken sending stone. Sorry.
A cleric of Mistra who thought a sending stone was broken?
I was going through some issues that day.
Oh, what kind of issues?
I don't want to talk about it.
Do you want to talk them out?
No.
No?
No.
No?
No.
Not at all?
No.
Not just a little.
Call help.
Why do you need to call help? You're not in danger.
Jet is literally not looking at him like at all, and blushing furiously, trying to get out of this.
He's just like, don't look at me, don't look at me.
Mm-hmm. He's like literally looking like hard slight to the right, so he like it's known that he's hiding. Dad.
Night, Dad.
Night, Dad.
Good night,
This is my opportunity.
Yes, Omega. Jet accidentally drunk dialed Rosnacy.
Yeah.
All the way
The very beginning.
in the wedding. It was the ceremony.
Jabal and Azan's
Mhm.
wedding, yeah.
Because I remember Jet was like, "This thing don't work. Look, hello, see nothing," and gave it to Cole.
Yeah.
And then after that, never corroborated whether or not it was actually broken. And Cole just communicated with
Cole just
Rosnacy.
took it and walked away. And
Yep.
then we all thought it was a hag. So Jet was going off with that.
To be fair, I did not think it was.
Everybody thought it was a hag.
It seems very. Yeah.
Well, it's not like he confirmed it to anyone that it was him and not the hag, so.
Yeah. Like, I'm just gonna remake the thumbs. I think I fucked up somewhere.
Your friend disappeared. Where did she walk off to?
I think she went to the bathroom.
She had to grab a drink.
Yeah, talk to him.
Sending the teleportation message with your bladder. She had to quick handle that.
It's very good to hear your voice too, Solidago. I understand that at one point we might have been brothers.
Jet's gonna take the opportunity to
Almost.
hide behind Cole.
Cole will allow it.
I changed your mind.
I realized that he was playing a trick on me.
He'll take this into consideration, and then he'll turn his attention back to Koshak. What did you call me? Did you call me old?
Yes.
Jet's gonna slowly back up behind Cole and then go behind Devoneth.
And he'll sort of look at his hands and drop it down. It took you a long time to get here.
It took me a long time to get out.
Why was that?
Because I was being kept in a room against my will.
And your will wasn't strong enough to get you out of a, what, wooden door?
Alas, no. Not when Ifan was able to find me wherever I was going.
Pity. Why did he do that?
I suppose when you first allowed me to go, he thought it was... I was akin to a great prize he had won, and something he did not want to let go of until the deal was up.
He'll sort of take a glance over Orvex and then past him towards Namira, where another Yuan-Ti is close by her, and sort of give her a expression and then look back. And he's dead. Correct? Dead?
Yes,
Dead?
he's dead. Believe it or not, Duvanith is the one responsible for that.
Who'll take a glance at Duvanith, enough to take in her appearance, and his eyebrows will raise, and then who will quickly look away and turn his attention back to Koashak, Solidago, and Jet.
Jet's hiding behind Devoneth.
I hate to address you directly. Duvanith, can you move your friend to the front?
Duvaneth, who is standing with like her thumbs inside of her belt and like it's sort of like in like a triangle, sort of like very old west gunslinger sort of look, will just sort of turn and look at Jet, and will just sort of like saying nothing, like just motion her head.
You're muted.
God damn it. Jet will walk out next to Devoneth. Still not looking at him.
Walk forward.
Shit. Jet will take like 2 steps forward.
Good enough for me. Welcome to my court. I'm sorry we are lacking all of the hospitality. We were kicked out of our residence about a few months ago. One of my own saw fit to challenge me, and I don't want to say betrayed, but a deal was struck that perhaps who'll kind of stop in the middle of his words like a CD track kind of skipping and just sort of start to daze off, his eyes stuck on some distant point of interest.
Colaboración? You were saying.
Oh, what brings you here?
I wanted to come back and see how everything was going, and we also need to get to Omu.
And the cubes, if he has any.
We also do need his cubes.
I know of a lot of cubes.
The cubes of the 9 gods.
I don't worship the gods. I wouldn't keep them.
Don't worry.
Oh,
I have a feeling I know where to find them.
very good. We've also been tracking the entrance of Omu. He's no princess, and he'll sort of twist his attention to Orvex, but he's close enough, I suppose. This little... this used to be not a bathhouse, it used to be a meeting place for the merchant caste. The roof is gone. They used to hold lanterns up on the ceiling in rings. Do you know where the entrance is?
Oh, I do not. I haven't been back in a long time. I've lost my bearings.
He'll breathe out slowly and sort of compose himself, and he looks unsure of himself. Whatever confidence or control he had seems to be chipping away the longer he's talking with all of you, especially Koshak. Why do you need to Omu? I know why we need it, but what's there for all of you?
Firmly believe that the only way to stop this rotting curse is there.
So you're going?
Me?
Yes.
Yes.
He'll kind of struggle to find the words that he clearly wants to say, and after a deliberation, you can hear someone hold their breath in the distance. He'll go, "No, you're not."
Yes, I am.
"No, you're not."
Cole, straightens up a little bit. Yes, I am.
Kawashak, your place is not traipsing around in some dead city. It's here.
In a different part of said dead city. Doing nothing?
You would be doing plenty. You'd be keeping court here. You'd be helping us restore and find the other members. You'd be keeping Namira company.
There won't
I
be
didn't
anything
kill her.
left. There won't be anything left to restore if I don't help. And that includes you.
Who'll breathe out slowly and sort of clasp his hands together. I am nothing if not hospitable. We will have this conversation later. I'm sure that you're all hungry.
Are you all hungry?
No, I just ate before we went through the portal.
Oh yeah, we just
Navani?
had we technically just had breakfast, didn't we?
Oh, that's right. We took a shortcut.
Through the
Teleportation circle. Bust.
Your bus in Nezerwa.
Oh. That would make sense. Artis isn't with you.
No, he had to return to Port Nyanzaru for business.
Oh, disappointing. And he'll turn back to Orvex, and this time he'll pick up a stick and go, "Look, Orvex, you're not alone. There's another historian who abandoned his kid." And he'll turn back. He's great. He doesn't say anything. I just sit here and taunt him all day. Very well. We'll have this conversation later, and I will leave you all to it. I have to go close my eyes. As I'm sure you can understand, this conversation was tiring. Dismissed. Oh, and Koshak, it's such a shame you won't be staying. There's vacancies now. You can have your old position back.
We'll have that conversation later. He smiles. No, we were dismissed?
Yes. Yes, you were.
Koshak gives a little bow and then turns to the others and goes like...
So, make sure Jet and Duvaneth goes and then heads out himself.
Duvaneth will take 1 second to mean mug Orvex, and then she has something she wants to say, but will take the cue.
Jet will quietly follow behind.
Alright, the ground is now open for you to explore, and as you all step, sort of out of the meeting hall, Namira will start sort of not overstepping her place, but she is trying very hard to catch your guys' attention.
Oh, once they left that area, Cole is like looking around for Namira, and once he sees her, he's running up and kissing her.
No.
Do we follow them or?
Check and make sure they're all-right.
Ko, they're kissing. I think they're fine.
He moved
Yes,
what looked like his eyebrows at me. I didn't like it.
Well, at least he didn't call him a bitch.
tempted. I'm extremely tempted.
Apparently I did it for you, so you're welcome.
What can you do? He's basically a corpse. Probably
I have
take
a
one
few
look at
spells for that.
Duvon will speak in hushed terms and say, yeah, he was kind of talking about a guy that looks like, hard breeze could take down.
what was that?
Nothing.
No.
Talking a big game for someone
Your
who
speech was
looks
a
like
little bit too much of a whisper.
blown down.
Oh,
Like,
it looks like a stiff breeze could have blown him down.
True.
Yeah. Probably breathe on him and that'd be it.
However, that over there, and she'll point at the Hydra, has me concerned.
It's a little bit.
The Hydra is eating what looks to be like the leg of some large lizard. As you look at the Hydra, one of its heads looks at Duvanus, and it crunches a bone and then goes back.
Great.
Perfect.
Are they still
Woo!
Yeah, they're still kissing.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think they're good. I think they're
Ooh,
they.
what are we supposed to do in the mean?
Well, I mean, we should probably at least. I know you guys are you gross cooties, but if we don't,
You want to
stop...
join them?
No.
Oh. I'm just being respectful. It's not cooties. I make out with my boyfriend in public. Did you not hear how many times I got yelled at for that?
Wait, what do you mean? Oh no.
Anyways,
It's
I'm saying that
something
we
you.
should probably make sure that
Duvanith doesn't know about cooties.
No, I understand the notion. It's just, are you talking about oh no cooties because of Koshak and Namira, or oh no cooties Razni? You weren't clear, and the two things are very different.
True.
I don't know. I specifically in this case, I'm saying that we should probably go over there because we are on a schedule.
Yes, but we're supposed to wait for the conversation for Sleepy Man to be able to go to Omu, because I feel like he's the one that's going to let us go, that's going to allow us to go.
It
The
sounds like-
timeline is getting information about what the hell we're going to do here before he wakes up.
I
Okay.
mean, he may be closing his eyes for the last time for all.
True.
That is very true.
Oh wow, they're still at it.
It's like watching your grandpa fall asleep.
Yeah.
How do they breathe?
Anyways, actually snakes have a extra little tube in their mouth, so that when they're swallowing a large thing, they can keep breathing.
So
it's actually quite fascinating.
these are people who have snake-like tendencies. I don't want to think of the anatomy of it,
So
just because it's already hurting my brain.
Does non-human anatomy bother you, Jet?
No, it's the thought
So
of
sad.
just interesting snake things.
As his whole dragonborn self.
Put a shirt on.
Cole,
damn it.
Cole turns around.
I can't ask for a discussion not to be stopped without being told that I'm being an asshole. Got it.
Yes.
Good
Cole,
to know.
Cole turns and motions the others to come over to where they are.
All right, I think we're good.
So we'll head over. Hello.
Did you
Nira
guys-
tucks herself under Kawashak's arm and looks every part the adoring wife. Sort of lingering off to the side seem to be a cluster of a few more equally beautiful men or women who are sort of cautiously watching the group and are definitely following Kawashak's cue on handling everything.
Cole, are you gonna have to make out with them too?
Not right now.
You know, I should be shocked about this, but that whole harem comment the last time, I'm not anymore. Anyways. So how are we gonna get Grumpy Man to let us leave?
Oh, before that, Namira, I do want to talk with you about something. We need to find the other cubes. The cubes with the faces of the 9 gods on them.
Namira will sort of nod and go, okay. I don't know what I'm going to do after you have the cubes, though. When Rosnasi entrusted me with them, when he started... That's why he hasn't killed me yet.
I know I probably should have incited him when he said he didn't know about the cubes.
Yeah, I almost did too.
Yeah.
Couldn't we just say, never mind, I guess you don't have them, we'll go look for them at your old place?
Well, the old place is in Omu. We don't know where Omu is.
How many of them do you have?
How many of them? I think about 4. Maybe 3. I'm not good with counting.
We're missing,
Puts
or
it
rather
short.
missing 2 or 1 or 2, right? Because we each have 1.
Yeah, we each have 1, but if we each have 1, that means we need 5.
Yeah, which is why we're either missing 1 or 2.
We'll cross that
Including
bridge.
the ones.
Yep.
Amira.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah.
Just figured I'd ask.
There wasn't any other places where they could be. Or at least the Naga didn't say otherwise. We won't let him kill you while we are able to make sure that doesn't happen.
The only way that could possibly not happen is if I stayed, but I don't want to stay.
And then you won't.
But then your promise of keeping her safe is not gonna work.
I mean, she could come with us, but it's not going to be safe where we're going either.
And don't worry about me, Koshak. The things I've done against Rosnasi, against you. Don't sacrifice yourself to keep me safe.
Cole's lips press into a fine line, and he just leans over and kisses the top of her head. It's worth it if it's for you. Oh. You and Gwali need to both stay safe.
Okay. Is there anything that you guys need while you're here? I still have a lot of leverage with some of the others.
If something were to happen to Rosny, what would happen here?
She'll kind of make an expression like she's never considered that before, and she'll then shake her head and go, I don't know. You'd want to ask Kuatlake. She's the one who gets that stuff.
The only thing I can think of is...
I was just going to say that having a plan B would probably be suggestible.
I can do a teleportation circle.
Mm-hmm. And
So if somehow
Do you have-
the
do
cubes.
you have the material for that? I thought those were expensive.
Oh. Let me look at my book. Oh. Rare chalks and inks infused with precious gems with. Oh yeah. That's right. Nope. I don't have the component for it. Shit.
My only question would be if there might be a chance that he didn't give you a cube. The sage at Orlunga gave us the location of all the cubes, and we've been to all of them but here. So I just wonder if perhaps he kept one to himself and had you hide the others.
She'll shake her head, press her line into a thin line like Koboshok, and then her face sort of turns a shade of green, and she'll say, when he gave me the cubes, I was his whole world. He's so much of a hopeless romantic. I know he's not hiding anything from me. Well, was at the time.
Devonic will nod.
Is there a possibility you have any chalks or inks infused with precious gems?
You got money?
I do, actually. I'm the court spellcaster, and I know where Rosnasi keeps his components.
Oh.
Jet, I don't know. I didn't think I'd get this far.
That's exactly what I was doing. I was like, fuck.
The other question would be who. Well, I mean, maybe Cole even knows, and I just have been too stupid to ask up until this point. But who was it that kicked Rosny out of Omu, and might they have a cube?
Oh, Fantaza.
No, Fantaza's dead. I'm surprised you didn't see her bodies. She was the dream speaker, or the nightmare speaker. She was our liaison to Dendar, and she challenged Rosnasi for leadership of little Yuan-Ti thing we have here, and she got killed honorably in the duel. It was just her fault for challenging.
But then how is it she kicked you out?
Well, she still
did.
had a living.
Oh, yeah.
Her harem and her court.
There's another one?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, there's, yeah.
Hitzilan, and she'll point to a Yuan-Ti that has a snake head, like a cobra flare. He used to be Fantaza's favorite, but he betrayed her and got me and Kuwali and some of the other children of the harem to safety. So we like him, Koboshok. He's cool now.
Yeah, good. I was wondering.
Is there a chance I could possibly get one of those chalks things, please? If not, it's okay. I understand completely. I swear. It was just the fact that I did not expect you to say yes.
I don't know if I can take that risk yet.
Then don't.
But if you need it very badly, I can do it.
If plan, well, where could a teleportation circle even get us?
What did you say? Candlekeep? No. You gave me a location, and I think I had it in my Roll20 section, not in here.
That was a Neverwinter.
Yeah, it was a Neverwinter location.
You got 2 locations. You got one in Neverwinter and one at Candlekeep.
That's what it was. Yeah. I could at least get us back to the Sword Coast.
That wouldn't be very helpful for getting us out of here, though, because...
if we're somewhere that we need to get the hell out of because we're fucked, I don't think a location's gonna matter.
Yes, it will, because we have to come back here. We have to get back to Omu. This isn't Omu. We still have to solve the death curse.
Yes, but if we're in Omu and shit goes south, I don't think it matters where we go as long as we get out alive to try again.
I'm inclined to agree with that statement.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Bit of a nuclear option, but
That's why it's
we might
plan
have to
B.
take.
Oh, I thought you meant like for right here with the situation with
No,
Rosny.
this is your plan B. I thought this was your plan B of like if shit goes south in there.
My plan B is killing Rosny so that way he doesn't try to keep Koashok here.
Yes, the body.
It's just Soul. I cannot count to you the reasons why that's an awful idea.
I brought it. That's why I brought it. It's a plan B for a reason.
I mean, maybe that should be.
Namira is closing her hands over her
Yeah, I don't
head.
think we should talk like that.
That's why I kept on calling it Plan B.
I mean,
You're the only one that knew Plan B.
Plan B could be stay here for 8 days and his arms fall and we just leave.
Oh my!
That's not a bad point.
At the far end of the entrance, you hear Kawatlake let out like this like just giant laugh, and then a very quick, I didn't do that.
Well, the only 2 options we have is either hopefully he wakes up on the right side of the bed, or
He's a lot more far gone than I thought he was going to be. I will say that much.
So wait, Cole,
Arguing with a senile old man now.
Cole, how do we get there? I don't think that's the question that's been answered. How if she's saying that they've lost Omu, how are we going to get there with Hib's help?
The only way, what was the Yuanti with the Y name? What was his name?
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Hitsilon?
Hitsila, yes.
Yeah, Duvaneth will just sort of point in that guy's general direction.
The only way that we could possibly make it work, if we don't manage to convince Rasnasi, is we could ask Hitsila to lead us back to Omu.
So is this like a walk, or are we taking a trance, or are we taking a spell?
So you're taking a walk. You're taking a walk.
Okay.
Well, we have the best guide in Chult.
But it would help if she knew where it was.
She doesn't know where Omu is. Nobody really knows where Omu
left
is.
us back in Metro.
Can't say anything. Yeah, that's fair.
We also don't know where we are. Kind of just appeared in the middle of nowhere.
And I can't see the sky, which doesn't help.
Well, you're in an old meeting hall. This was probably built around 1300 DR. Orvex taught me that.
Isn't the ceiling gone?
Mm-hmm.
Sure is. And then you look up, and there's just a thick canopy.
Oh, yeah.
That's why it was so hot when we dropped in.
Yeah.
Duvaneth will just nod her head and say, yeah, no, I had been planning on speaking to Orvex about and other things.
Are you gonna kill him?
No. Why would I do that?
Oh. Quality
Well, don't
said
sound
you
too
killed
excited.
people.
What?
Quality said you killed people.
We have a bit of a reputation.
She does kill people.
I mean, that's not fair.
Well,
They were situational.
If I hadn't done it, you would have done it, Soul.
yes,
True.
100%. But you definitely did kill people. So have I. We're all killers.
I don't think the word killer really justifies what we've done. We've never done it out of cold blood.
We haven't done it.
People kind of
No,
squint her
kill
face and be like, I kind of got justification for killing Ifan after the fact, but I haven't tried to really analyze that too hard. Whew. Anyways,
Oh shit, that's right.
You'll see Rosnasi snake out from behind the wall and sort of resume the position he was once before, and this time a sort of yellow shawl draped around his shoulders.
Oh, he's awake.
Cool.
shortest nap in history.
Hello.
Rosnasi will look at you and kind of. He's not going to talk to you from that far away.
I guess we should go see him.
Oh,
Do you guys want to approach him?
No.
Well, he's one of the main ways to get there, so we kind of have to.
Javanath will nod and say, I'll back you up.
All right. He kisses the side of Namira's head and says, "I'll be back."
She'll just kind of touch his face and to let him go.
Back to life. Back to reality.
As you all step back, Rosnasi seems to be questioning the very strong word for the pelt of questions he's giving Orvex, asking him what Kirsabal is like, what the Arakukra are like, what the teacher is like, what Nyanzaru has been in, what's Mulhorandai like. And Orvex is answering these questions in as few words as possible. It was high. They're bird people. Kind of bitchy. Nice. Hot. Lots of sand. And as the four approach, Rosnasi will direct his attention back to them and look at them all with renewed interest.
Having fun?
Good afternoon.
It's mid-morning.
I can't back you up on this one, Cole. He's technically right.
Giovanni is like, "I'm sorry. I know I said words, but it's literally mid-morning. Sorry, Cole." You wanted to have this conversation?
I did want to have this conversation. I didn't think you were going to bring all of your friends for it.
Oh, do you guys want to wander around the meeting hall, meet the others?
No. Keep them here. I like looking at them. Except for Devanath, I would never cross that boundary.
Soul looks severely uncomfortable.
Insight check.
Sure, what are you inciting?
Would he cross that boundary?
Would
Go
he
for
tap
it.
that? Is the question.
Would he tap that?
Does he know that Duvanith is
13.
taken?
She's not taking
Alright.
that.
1.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he tapped that, obviously. 2. He's pretty scared of you.
Ooh.
There's something about your presence that's really unnerving him immensely.
Good.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yep.
I'm guessing he's got something like 1d8 plus 3d6 hit points left, guys.
So, why don't you want me to go?
Because you don't belong there.
Who are you to say where I belong? I didn't belong at Ifan's house, and yet I was there. I didn't belong in Port Nyanzaru, and yet I was there. I certainly did not belong traipsing about the woods for the longest time, and yet I was there. And now I want to be somewhere else. For once.
I allowed you to traipse around in the jungle, be in Port Nyanzaru, and be at Ifan's because you wanted to go. This was of your own grand design, so of course the second we try to jump into what I, Vrosnasi, your greatest benefactor, protector, get into, it's what? The point of the fact is, Kosha, I need you here. This place is falling apart, and you're the only person I can trust.
It was falling apart before I got here. You can trust other people if you let them, but you don't, so...
I trusted Namira, and then it turns out she was cheating on not just me, but all of us with Sekalak, and trading information with Fantaza. Did you know that Ishan is a doppelganger? Did you know that he's been trading precious information with the Red Wizard since the entire time we've known him?
Oh, speaking of Red Wizards, one of them wants me to put in a good word for them, so, she's competent.
Which one? Was it Zagara?
One of them. Yes. He says that with extreme ire.
Oh, he doesn't seem to know how to compose himself before he'll... We know where the entrance of Omu is, but it's blocked. We don't know how to get past it.
What's it blocked by?
What is it blocked by?
Oh, I love that. You both said it at the same time with different enunciations. Very good. That pleases me. A puzzle of sorts.
Is it dangerous? What does it...
No, it's just blocked by a statue Chigakuri. But his hands are empty.
I don't remember the story surrounding that. You good, Fish?
Fish gets to tell the story of Tagakari. She's very excited about this.
I could kiss you. Thank you so much. Okay. 1 second. Oh, perfect timing. We are going to go on a quick break.
God damn it. Yeah, baby.
Damn it.
Alright, we'll be right back, guys.
Jason was so ready to get back into the story.
Rasmussen will take a moment and, I don't know the story myself, and will glance over at Orvex, who is not looking at him, and kind of roll his eyes forward. If you can convince him.
Jet's gonna look at the group. And anybody want to try?
Well, I have something I want to say to him, but then someone else will probably have to ask.
Can we try to get the story first?
Duvanov will kind of, like, wince almost and say, I kind of want to open with this. It really makes the right... It puts us in a good position.
Alright, I trust you on this, Duvanif.
No, don't. But
I was gonna say, should we?
I'm willing to. I want to see what happens.
But we need this information, and basically going up to him and telling him off probably isn't the best way to start.
He'll give it to us.
If I'm the only one, then please.
Well, I mean, what's he going to do?
Rosny's gonna...
Is he going to attack her? You can't do that from the wall.
Oh my god.
Also, Rosny's gonna make him tell us the story, and if he won't, Rosny will then make him tell us the story.
Okay.
Now that I've been forgiven from, well, not forgiven, but I've been told that people have moved past it, I'm a little bit more okay thinking about using my breath weapon. That'd be a good tactic. Plus, I don't think he knows I don't.
Your what?
My breath weapon? Like, I can breathe fire.
Oh, I forgot you can do that.
You've done that like once?
Yeah, we were about to get killed. It was a desperate situation. I only use it in situations. But I'm more than willing to threaten people with it. Just not use it.
Oh no, that's fine. I imagine my words are gonna hurt plenty.
I do want to see, genuinely. I want to see what you're going to do, Duvanif. I'm curious. I want to see where this goes.
Nowhere good.
Oh. By all means, go ahead.
Fish, you can let us know when to read you in.
Got it.
Okay. Duvanith will shrug, sort of like roll her shoulders, and will walk up to Orvex.
Orvex looks a little different than when you had last seen him. His face is more narrow, not as wide, but he has the same familiar skin texture, the same high cheekbones and general jaw of Majanari. And most notably, the two of them share the same kind of long, almost model-like long neck. But he doesn't have Majanari's dark brown eyes, those she most likely got from her grandmother or her mom. And he'll look up at Duvanith, and he will not address her first.
Cool. I'm going to ask the question that nobody was asking. What is Orvex wearing?
Awesome. Orvex is wearing a plain linen shirt with yellow accenting along it. It appears to be a little small for him, sort of riding above his elbows, and he's wearing tattered breeches and no shoes.
Okay, and how is he bound to the wall?
He is chained by a neck shackle and by two. So he's chained to the wall by his neck, and his wrists and feet are bound.
Wonderful. So Duvaneth will stride up to him, will grab his neck restraint, pull him in, and say, "Next time I saw you, I was going to kill you, but seeing you chained up next to a green monster is fairly fitting. I actually like this better." And then we'll release him, and we'll say, "My friends have some questions for you." And we'll just sort of depart.
Soul quietly reaches out a hand for a high five.
Fucking mint.
Yeah, he seems pretty terrified. Rossi lets himself look impressed before sort of clearing his expression. And Arvex will find his composure and look at the group. Yes?
Would you be willing to tell us the story of he's talking about?
Shigakuri and Mojinari?
Yes.
He'll nod, and then he'll sort of twist the shackles in his hand.
I know.
And he's about to say something, and then he looks at Duvaneth and then just kind of doesn't. Yes, I can tell you the story of Shigakuri and Mojinari. I'll look over at Rosnasi, then back to the group, and sort of gather himself in a more appropriate position. So, around 800 years ago, there was a princess and a thief. The thief's childhood isn't important, as it was the childhood that all thieves had. But the princess was born the first and last of her parents. Her mother, the queen, would die shortly after in battle, and with her death, it left the prince consort to raise the young princess, and she was named Mojinari, for the 3 sun rays that hit the world after a storm. With the princess so young and unable to talk, the people of Omu looked at the prince consort to hold, govern, and he did, faithfully and quite well, for several decades, until the young Kushko Mojinari hit her 20th year, and he refused to hand it over. He stylized himself as king, and the young Mojinari let it happen. She was kind and unwilling to challenge her father so aggressively. So it went by. It was peaceful, things were tense. Until one day, the king decided to hold a competition. He held in his stables a mastodon, and he'll kind of lean forward and wave his hands. A mammoth. It's a type of mammoth, not a shark. And he'll lean back. And he held the mastodon in his stables. And he said that any warrior who could calm down the mastodon enough for him to ride would be welcomed into his court. And so all of the warriors of Omu gathered, and they tried, each of them failing after the last. Some of them tried wrestling it into submission, some tried poisons, and a few even tried their hand at witchcraft and magic, trying to charm the beast into subduing. But none worked, until one day, the young thief strode into court, into the castle of Omu, on the back of the mastodon. The king was angry, but Mujinari stopped him and allowed him to introduce himself. And he did, as Chigakuri. We don't know what the name means. The story says that he just made it up on the spot. So, the king allowed Chigakuri to stay in the court, stuck in a sort of limbo, not quite a courtier and not a warrior. And things were fine until the king walked in on Chigakuri talking with the young missionary. This was a step too far, especially when the young princess admitted that he had given her several gifts and had been in her mind far longer than the Mastodon event. So, the king brought Chigakuri into his main court with the Mastodon he had cruelly tamed, and had his sorcerers banish him to hell, dooming him to the infernal plains. Chigakuri was not a warrior, he was hardly a thief now, but he was very clever, and he was very angry. And he fought his way all the way, some say, to Asmodeus. And even after bone devils and horned devils and all the succubi and incubi and all of the horrors of the Dark Plains, Chigakuri was sent back. And so court was being held, and at the evil king's side was the princess as always. And when Chigakuri stumbled out of the portal, his hair singed, his body tired and hurt from days and months of hard travel, the king set about finishing it himself. So he stood up, ready to kill Chigakuri once and for all, when the young princess took out the last gift Chigakuri had given her, the only gift he could think to give her, a dagger. The young princess plunged it into his neck, giving Chigakuri enough time to cross the court and decapitate the young king. And so, young Mujinari had her throne, and most importantly, she had the head of her father. And she had a difficult choice of what to do with Chigakuri. She loved him, and he loved her. Making him a concubine would have been dismissive. Making him just a plain courtier warrior would have been insulting. So she made him her champion. Someone to stand at her side, be her guard, and be her everything until the day she or he died. And as a symbol of this, she turned the skull of her father into a chalice for him to carry as an extension of her and her will. And so that's the story of Chigakuri and Mujinari.
Man,
Huh.
man, we got some actual Chigakuri and Majinori parallels during the coronation, huh?
Soul over. Duvanis. And the
I wrote the
chalice.
story before all of that. But Orbex will lean back and nod.
How's Duvan looking?
Thoughtful.
we got so many freaking parallels happening at once.
So, then, in that case, what is this puzzle?
Orvex will kind of clear his throat. Oh, I don't know.
Oh, sorry, I should be more specific. Rosnasi, what is this puzzle then? How is it stopping you?
Fuck. We're done with you, Orvex. Fuck off.
You served your purpose.
Brosnitsi will mostly look amused, and say, I met the Queen Mercenari and Chigakuri once. I was invited to their, the first daughter's first birthday.
Lovely.
Very interesting couple.
That sounds interesting.
It will kind of take a second. So, there's a hall, there's a building, and opposite of it is a statue of Chigakuri with his hands outstretched. We can walk into the building, but we can't go past some stairs. Or start kind of rotating through a few languages, some of them in languages that you recognize, and he seems to be saying every word for like doorway until he lands on a language he seems to know, and then he says doorway. There's a locked door with no knob and no lock, but it won't open.
Mm-hmm. And all right. In Omu, is there any specific meaning for having one's hands outstretched, or is it more we think he needs to have something placed into his hands?
He'll glance over at Orvex. And he'll snap his fingers, getting Orvex's attention. Is there any meaning to outstretched hands? And Orvex will take a second, kind of glance upwards and say, not any more than it is for anywhere else. It just means that they're waiting for something.
Do we know where the skull chalice is? Or where it may reside?
Yes. In Omu. It was one of the great artifacts lost after Omu was lost.
Okay. So that can't be the key, because it's behind the door.
I suppose we'll find out when we get there. But knowing the origins of the puzzle is helpful. Enough to put this together. I mean, he was gifted a chalice in the story.
I'm sure we'll find a way to open it, Soul.
Mm-hmm. I mean, either that or the head of someone. Totally don't know how you want to think about it.
Maybe it's just a dagger.
It is the skull of Koshkal's father.
Rosnesi will look over at Orvex.
That's none of my business,
Orvex,
though.
They do make a good point. I hear that Duvana's 2 for 3. Tyrant, a king, father.
Out of character, the first thought in my head was Duvanith could kill Orvex and then Ras Nasi and get like a ×2 combo. Tyrant, king, father. It's a 3-in-1.
It is. It's like shitty shampoo.
Ras Nasi will work his jaw and then sort of lean forward. Are you hell-bent on going, Kovashok?
It's going to ensure that you, at the very least, can get better. And the rest of the world follow suit. I see no reason why I shouldn't go.
So you think the source of the death curse is there?
Yes. We've
Do you
been
believe
alluded
that?
to as such. Multiple sources. Yes, I believe it.
Are you willing to bet your life on it?
Yes.
And he already
I'll lean
has.
back. Several decades ago, when I had freshly lost my standing as beret, a lich approached me.
The horned band.
Cambion. I think you will call them tieflings now. But he hailed from a different world, something not unusual to me, and he introduced himself as a Sirak. He said that the Amuans had died, and asked me to keep watch over a tomb for him.
A tomb?
A tomb.
A tomb.
A tomb of annihilation. A series of death traps he had set up on the bones of the Amuans, and he asked me to keep watch over it. He said that something dark was coming. I declined. But I stayed in Amu, because it was the only place I could stay in, and it kept an easy eye on what his machinations may have been. Rasnasi will sort of tap his fingers together. Adventurers have been coming to the tomb for as long as it's been up, all for their own different reasons. But a different party came by only a few weeks ago.
They didn't happen to
Was
wear
there
yellow, did they?
another mouthy redhead?
Yes.
Was there another mouthy redhead? Was there yellow? Was one of them a super
Were there
simp?
banners involved? Was one of the
They
guilds?
had sworn allegiance to the young royal Hadit Kir Sabal and had pledged themselves to ending the death curse. They bet their lives on Amu and headed there. They had a way there.
Do you know what
They
way?
had a way there.
They had a plan to get by the statue puzzle.
Yes, they. who kind of starts stumbling on his word. And he'll look at Orvex, and Orvex will look back. They didn't tell me. I forgot to ask.
Also, really quick, 4 people immediately walking through. One of them is a child or child height.
Yeah, I.
Oh, I
Just
thought.
kinda click.
So
Yeah,
so here's the thing. I thought the child height person was Cole's son.
My first thought was the
Could
yellow
also
banner,
be.
but I was like, well, it's probably the kids. But it was like, but my first thought was the yellow banner. It was like,
Elita got tiny feet.
who got tiny feet? Also, he didn't think to ask, are they gnome feet instead?
Speaking of not just a way in, I'm going to ask you again. Or rather, let me preface this first. Not only were we told that the source of the death curse is Inamu, we were also told that in order to have a way out, we need the 9 cubes of the 9 gods. Otherwise, we're going to be trapped down there.
That's never changed.
So do you know where they are? Any
The
of them?
cubes?
Yes, the cubes.
No. I entrusted them with Namira.
I know. She informed me that's the only reason you haven't killed her.
I would
And
like to.
that's true.
I would like to insight whether or not he entrusted all of the cubes to Nymira.
I agree.
Give me that insight.
Give me that.
Shit. You know what? I have 1 inspiration from last game. I'm gonna use it.
Do it.
It's worth it on this one.
Hey!
Fuck!
I got a 19.
I got a 15. Jet's still a little fucked up
Okay,
from Rosnisi.
Why did I do that? The dice disappeared. Okay, what are you guys inciting exactly? That he's telling the truth?
Yes. He gave all the cubes
all the
to
cubes.
Namira.
Yeah, or if he's like withholding the fact that he may still have one in his possession.
So getting a raid on him, is difficult for a lot of reasons. He has this very careful way of composing himself, even in his close to death state.
Devon is like, normally I look for the wrinkle in the nose, but he doesn't have one anymore.
He looks like Voldemort.
It's hard to tell if he's... I'm trying to figure out a way to say this. He doesn't know. He is talking out of his rear end about the cubes. He only seems to be concerned with them because you guys are.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-mm. If I make it through the trials of Umu, a return, would you allow her to stay alive if I promise to come back and stay?
I will have to exile her. Namira did try to kill me.
She did.
Yes.
When and how?
A knife, and after the Fantaza fight when we were coming here, she saw fit to try and strangle me in my sleep, like I was some concubine out of my place.
Nods. Okay. But you'll leave her alive?
I will exile her and let her figure it out.
Will that be whether or not I leave? Or, well, sorry, whether or not he promises to come back, rather.
If you don't promise to come back, I will kill her. If you promise to come back, I will exile her.
Then I'll make a promise to come back.
See to it then. Kuatlake will ensure that my promise is kept.
Cole nods.
Kowali won't be touched. I'll keep him safe.
Thank you.
Is that all?
Do any of you have any questions? Concerns?
I've lived for 4,000 years. My memory is spotty, but I have been here for all of Chult's history.
Jesus, 4,000 years is a long ass time. I don't believe any information you have will be useful to me. Wait. There was an architect.
There's been several. Are you talking about Thurute? Zelkare's champion?
Champion?
Well, after Mujinari and Shigakure, all of the reigning queens after that have had champions. They're beloveds above all beloveds, etc.
This is a man who would have worked alongside the time that Acerak took over and made his tomb.
Mm-hmm.
Under Queen Napaka, I think.
Yes, Queen Napaka.
I may have spoke too soon. When Queen Zalkare led to Uteu leaving Omu, we didn't hear anything from them after that. I thought that's when they died, and I didn't have any connections to Mesro anymore, so I couldn't have known otherwise, so I don't know that, unfortunately. And then he'll look at Orvex. But in great might.
In great?
In great, yes. I use other words, but I don't want to use them in front of Koashak. I know that he can speak to the and as he's saying this, he's like playfully slapping Orvex's face. Yeah, I know that he's spoken with some of the Omuan dead some points.
Well and great. Do you have any idea of who this is? Who that would be?
Orvex will compose himself and no, at the time Omu had maybe 34 architects and 8 master architects.
How many died suspiciously in the palace, though?
I don't know. I only know that information from Hitsili.
Not really helpful then. Huh. It's worth a shot.
Should we?
So, Uranus. This is a more personal question, so I'll let everyone go first.
Oh,
I said my piece.
yeah. I was going to advocate for us going and talking to the Yuan Ti, who led the exodus from Venthaza's court. So, if you got some.
Rasmus will look at Solidago. You have free reign to speak. I'm interested. I know that you had been having dreams from Uteo, and I had had those dreams once.
My question for you. So, your bottom half is a snake body.
It's serpentine. From the navel down, it's a snake. Are you about to ask me if I have 2 penises?
No, I assume. But
You were thinking about that?
Ivana has excused herself from the conversation.
Jed's gonna turn away.
Man,
no,
don't look at me. I can't tell you whether or not he does.
I'm not. That's not. In the memories, we had our hands on the memory jug for a little while.
Oh.
You did not have a snake body.
When the spell plague happened and Upte was ripped from this world, I lost my connection to his powers, and including that was the mortality. I had begun to age, and so I chose to become serpentine in an effort to maintain my long age.
Interesting.
I had begun to gray.
Tell me about it. And like he like points to like his like dulling scales. It's the worst. Like
Oh, it is.
but that was it. I was just curious.
Why?
Because you didn't have a snake body,
Okay.
and now you do.
I'm just curious why you're so concerned with my body.
Because it's weird, man. No one like there isn't
When the
a-
Yellow Banner came here and they heard of my long age, they asked me wonderful things. Did you ever meet the Netherese? Have you ever met any other ancient civilizations? I could tell them how I've wine and dined, the 7 sisters or daughters of the Mistra, but you come in here and ask me, why is my bottom half a snake?
Ivana mumbles under her breath. man made a bold choice to have 2 penises.
So compelling.
To be completely fair, Rossi, I am not as classy as those guys.
That is very fair. What was your question?
Is he talking to?
Kind of to the group, but he's talking to Solidago.
That was my question. Oh, from Uteo.
Father. Yeah.
Is life decided by fate or free will? What was yours?
Why do you bury the dead? He'll take a second and sort of compose himself and then gesture for Solidago to continue.
Killing the Ashawans?
No. I killed the children, and I didn't kill any civilians.
Fair. Led to your exile, which I don't know. I was just curious.
The exile was a choice that me and Akatsun made.
Who?
The Akatsun. Eku. Her grandmother led us from Maztica to here. But if I hadn't stepped in, the beret would have killed the children and civilians too. It was a conscious effort to preserve at least some lives.
Hmm. That was all.
If you were led
Oh,
here
no,
from
Devon, go first.
if you were led here from Azteca and you have been around for are you familiar with the Eye of Zoltek? I know it's one of the similar like lost artifacts of a moon. Do you know what it does?
When... yes. He'll take a second. He seems genuinely surprised, and he'll look at Duvanith as he talks. The Eye of Zoltek is what we brought with us. We, the tribespeople of Maztica, had agreed to follow Upteo. He had promised better lands, and we were dying where we were. We crossed over and brought some of our things. Chief among them was a ruby, I want to say about the size of Jet. Can you fist your hand for me? Make a fist. Yeah, it was about that size.
Okay. There was some fear.
Context, yo.
Yeah. That was a long pause. Like, hold it. It's just the size of Jet.
It brings back the dead. A life for a life. but at the time it was the only way we knew of to bring back the dead, and we put it as insurance. The Amuins carried it with them. They held on to the Maztecan traditions the longest.
Okay. And the navel of the moon?
Navel of the Moon, it's this very pretty moonstone opal. A queen of Omu enchanted it for her daughter. It lets you talk to the... I think we actually have that somewhere around here. I gave it to Kuatlake at one point so she could talk to me. But I honestly lost track of it a few days ago.
Allows you to talk to what?
It allows you to talk to whoever you love the most.
Okay. Here, none of these things are capable of being reverse engineered. Reverse engineered into a soulmonger, if that means anything to you.
We think the souls of those that are dying to the death curse are ending up in a specific place together.
You didn't pick that name, did you?
God, no.
Soulmonger. Who would name it that?
I just have this image of this large, sweaty man at a fish market, but instead of fish, he's selling souls.
That's my exact image. It just it feels like a mockery.
The Thayans, some Ashawans, some weird crocodile people, cultists, and some former members of the Flaming Fist.
Wait, do you think that they were pulling a fast one on us? That they were just like, oh, they're gonna go around calling it the Soulmonger this whole time. These
Really?
jokers.
I mean, there wasn't much to do in Mesro.
Maybe they were just tossing around names.
God, I feel stupid.
I don't know, what would be a better name? So I can't think of anything better. Soul container. Not the same ring.
Soul jar. No, that's a spell. Soul.
Soul tank?
No. It's taking them, right?
Oh, like with like,
Oh,
like
a
the soul
reaper
bar,
art belongs to like a god. So.
soul tub. There we go.
Hey,
Soul tub.
Yeah, like the repossessor. I don't know. It's taking the souls that the name's not important. What it's doing is...
Soul Reaper Man.
It's called the Soulmonger. That's just what we're calling it.
That's fine.
The Reaper. There we go.
I mean, none of us could come up with better names on the spot, so I think that basically speaks for why it's called the Soulmonger.
Brilliant brainstorming session. Very glad I could have these conversations. So glad I'm spending the last days of my life with this as my... I used to have jesters. I used to have clowns.
We came all this way. We thought you were the one causing the Soulmonger for a while, so we were just going to be like, okay, guess we probably have to fight him at some point in time, and now we're just here.
No, here's the
Why
thing.
on
No matter
earth-
what, I told them, no, there's no way Rasnasi is the Soulmonger. I'm going to tell you the guys that now, but I had not exactly built up like them at that point, so they didn't believe me.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Do they believe you now?
No.
Oh no.
Absolutely not. Why would we?
I mean,
That's
in
that's
general, Duvanis.
So I'm sending my beloved favorite to a death trap with people who don't trust him.
No, we do. It was a joke.
Oh, it's the Mesro part of me that can't handle humor.
That's valid. All this way now we're just having idle conversation. My God, what happened to us?
So,
No, never
keep
mind.
stay the night.
Well, it's only morning.
You can stay for the day and perhaps the night.
Thank you.
May I speak out of turn, Duvanath?
I mean, it's your port.
How is Kirsabal?
High and made from less sturdy timbers than you may expect.
Interesting. How's the princess?
Good, less than you.
Hmm.
Are you asking because I had seen Raylan flitting around the bathhouse a couple times, and I didn't want to say anything, but I feel like
Yeah, I don't appreciate that, by the way.
I don't understand where you're getting at.
nothing.
I turned my eyes when things. He looks unnerved.
She'll just pop her thumbs back at her belt.
Jet,
Yes.
while you're traipsing, we had come across some undead, and then I'll leave you all to it. I'm just a deeply curious man, and you all are very interesting. Have you... You will come across some undead, and they are Omuan undead. But they won't attack. You're a cleric of Mystra, Archon. Do you know what can make that happen? Undead with no master don't attack.
Would Jet know this?
Probably not. I mean, he can try and give it his best college try.
I was thinking of that too, but I wanted to see if there was something like Jet has read. Omuan undead that don't attack.
There's like no real answer on my part. This is something that you can like totally
No, yeah.
bullshit, and I'll go with the flow.
Was it was it you that seen them, or was it another person who came from Omu? Or was it like an adventurer like us?
So it was the Yellow Bannered people. They had pledged themselves to the Omuan princess. And then it was me. And I did have a short-lived affair with Zalkure. And then it was Kuwatlike, whose mother, I'm not sure where she came from. So she could be Omuan.
So what I'm asking is these group of undead Amuan, who saw them and didn't get attacked by it?
Yellow Bannered, me, and Kuatlake, and the undead are most definitely Omuan. They have very distinct faces.
Well, if those people all pledged to Omu in one way, shape, or form, it could honestly be because their souls haven't passed, that essentially there's still a piece of them in the body. So given that fact, if they see, because of how, close Omuan is to itself, the undead could still have a piece of them that see each other and consider it family. They believe that what they're looking at is still a part of them. We know the souls aren't going to, moving on. They're stuck. So maybe not all, maybe a piece of the soul still with the host, with the actual body itself. Subconscious, in other words.
Well, these would have died years before the Soulmonger, but I like your answer. Thank you for entertaining me. And he'll kind of dismiss you all with a curt wave of a hand.
Jed will just bow his head a little bit and wait for everyone else to move.
All right. Yep. Cole just gives a nod to Rosnasi and goes with the others.
As you all leave, you see that Hitsilan and Namira have been joined by Kuatlake and Mitstli, and that Kuatlake is standing in front of a clay brazier and appears to be talking into a apparition on the surface, and she's talking very quick Chulten.
Can Soul hear what she's saying?
He
Or
can,
Cole.
Yes, the two of you can hear what she's saying, and she appears to be talking about Fort Balarian and just sort of the logistics of that fort there and what's going on, like rotation, etc., so forth.
Is everything all right?
She'll glance up. Yeah, I'm just relaying some information to Shago. Which reminds me, she'll look at Duvanith and look back down at the apparition. Yeah, so when Missionary gets there, Shago, I needed to make sure that she doesn't talk to the yarn reporter if she ever comes back. Just a hunch. There's no reason behind it, just a hunch. And then she'll splash her hand through it and clasp her hands together. Thank you, Namira. So how did the conversation go? Are you guys dead?
Not physically.
Obviously not.
I don't think so.
Okay. You're not marked for execution?
Not yet.
Not
That would have been a
currently.
bold choice.
Does Shago know your Yanti?
This? He has a hunch. But him knowing wasn't as important as Jabal and Azon knowing.
So they didn't
No, they did know.
Oh, they did.
I told them when they hired me.
Do you know? Well, I suppose you would know. I suppose you already know what happened to them. So forget I
Well-
asked.
No, I don't.
Jabal was killed by the Terrafolk King. We don't know what happened to Azon. Presumed dead as well. Their son, Nidi, Nidi is in Mesro with Jessamines girl and the toddler.
They're pulling the debt for the merchant prince position.
I about figured as much.
Not
That
sure.
we anticipated. Jabal and Azon had left to hunt down where the Fawn's journal went, and all Azon confirmed is the agent who had it burnt it.
It was us.
Jabal split off.
We were the ones that had the journal. He saw me with it.
She kind of suck in her cheeks and go, the agent who had it, because I don't know who had the journal, for the continued sake of our friendship, we're going to pretend I don't know who had the journal. But Jabal split off to go find the princess at the Terrafolk place, and so I guess what you said is true because you have his guns.
I have his guns because I killed who killed him. And his son.
It's fine with them. She didn't kill his son. Oh, he didn't kill Needy. She did kill the terrible king's son.
Yeah, that was supposed to. I suppose.
Context.
I was trying to be slick about it and realized, yeah.
Yeah, you were just off. But also, I'm just dense, so. Do you have a way of helping them? We kind of left them out in the open.
Not really. I tried to come here for help, but
Bless you.
this is it. Pretty shortly here. I'm just waiting for Rosnasi to die, and then I'm going to go back and fulfill my purpose, I suppose.
Yeah, how long does he have left? Do you know?
No, and I wouldn't tell you.
Fair. We're not going to kill him. Unless he gives us a reason
Don't
to. Which
say that so early.
Unless he gives us a reason to.
You are really vying to kill Rasnasi, I must say. He hasn't even given you a reason yet.
I have trust issues when it comes to this situation.
He does have a pretty punchable face, but that also might be because he doesn't have a nose anymore.
Yeah, like it looks like your knuckles could like
What
fit
the cable
right in
scuff?
there.
I have his face. Do I have a punchable face?
No, you
Don't
still
answer
have a
that.
nose.
I think it's all about the fact that, he looks like Voldemort now.
Who the hell's Voldemort?
Who?
Who the?
Don't
Who in
answer
the
that.
world?
We're not doing the joke.
We're not doing a bit. No bits.
Some evil lich. That's it.
Yeah.
We don't have cooked food here.
A lot, and
It's all raw meat.
I can cook.
If you want to, just don't do it near us. We get nauseous.
That's fair.
Have you smelled this place?
Why are you so rude everywhere you go? Obviously, I've smelled this place, Duvaneth. I've been living here. She'll turn to Kosha. Who walks into a place and asks someone who's been living there, have you smelled this place? Like, oh my, the freaking...
Well, clearly how rude I am. It's now a reputation thing. I've got to lean into it, but I'm sure a couple steaks wouldn't be as offensive as whatever this is.
This is the natural musk of the jungle. I'm offended. I like the smell now.
Sorry.
Jet wants to insight.
Go for it.
Jet
What are
just
you
wants to
inciting?
Jet just wants to know if this is literally a petty reply of like, I like this, just to be 16. Like, is just saying it just to spite Devanov. That's all I want to know. No idea.
No, she's totally just doing this because she wants to be a petty asshole.
I like her.
I respect. Jet, also a petty asshole.
Mm-hmm. Jet is absolutely petty as fuck.
Anyways, yeah, you can cook, I guess, but just don't do it around us. And you guys have to sleep near the Hydra.
I don't know if we'll be sleeping here, but okay.
I don't think we
you're
should.
not sleeping here?
I don't think we should make our way to Omu as the sun is setting. Personally.
Yeah, I got well, I mean, you guys still have so much day left, but I got Kowali. I'm gonna go give him a bath and get him all dressed up. Why aren't you gonna stay with me?
Cool.
That's my son. Can I go, please? Please let me see him. I want to see him.
But you have a son?
Yes, I have a son. I want to see my son.
Well, then yes. Okay. In that case, yeah, we can spend the night. Jeez.
Yay. Well, we keep him safe away during the day, because the red wizards are awake during the day but asleep at night, like animals.
The red wizards?
Fans.
Yeah.
Well,
They've been
yes.
here a while.
Okay. Are they also looking for a way to get into Omu?
Yes.
Figured.
That's why we've been keeping Orvi over here locked up.
Oh yeah, they wanted him.
Yeah. But we got to him first.
The look fits him.
Kind of a gimp kind of look, yeah.
What's with the beef? I mean, Frosnessy doesn't like him. Namir's fine with him. Like, what's the beef?
Child abandonment. It's like a whole thing here in Chult. It's like a
questionable consent.
questionable consent. That's another thing.
Yeah.
Though,
That basically sums it up.
yeah. To be fair, the more and more we learned about Mojanare's mother, the less chance it was statutory.
I've met Razan and I've met Ashara. You know,
Yeah. She tried to for the night that we knew Razan, she immediately tried to set her daughter up with Jet.
yeah. When me and Jabal met Razan, she was like, "Oh, go out the cave. Let me introduce you to my..." Like, it was so weird.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, I think it's just petty at this point. That and the fact that he just kind of has dick energy.
I get that. I really do. She'll clap her hands together and then she will just leave the conversation, and Namira and Hitzilan will look at the group before Namira kind of moves over and gets in close with Koashak. And just a moment later, a very sleepy 6-year-old with a humanoid form, but a lot of very distinct reptilian features, including iridescent scales and all sorts of coloring, a sort of flat nose that resembles a snake's snout, slitted eyes. The whole deal is brought out, held by Kuatlake. Tired and frustrated, having been woken up out of a very deep sleep. But as he gets closer to Koashak, he just starts getting more and more excited until he struggles with Kuatlake's grasp, hits the ground in this loud thud, picks himself up, says, "I'm fine," and then takes off, kicking a cloud behind him. And he rams his face into Koashak's knee and just kind of holds onto a shin.
Oh, Kojak is picking him up and he's like giving all his face all these kisses and speaking to him in abyssal, like whole 9 yards.
It's painfully sweet. He's wearing a yellow tunic that's several sizes too big.
Kojak is smiling the widest that anyone in the group has ever seen him smile.
Well, looks like we're staying the night.
Soul almost immediately starts crying.
Duvanith will just pat Soul on the back. Not looking at him, just...
Can I borrow your guns? Night. Duvanith.
That's not the right option. That's not the... No.
No.
So we have things to do.
Not like that, you dick.
They've
That's just
expended
the
their...
wrong way to say that, Sam.
They've expended
Can I borrow your
their...
gun?
They've expended their sending charge already for a while. So Cole used them to call ahead.
Tomorrow then?
If we get a sound enough night's sleep for them to recharge.
Fine.
She'll say, like, looking at the Hydra.
The Hydra, its jowls dripping with blood and flesh from another creature, looks at her.
It just finished
and
eating! How often is it eating?
Lips.
It has
It's
several
got
heads.
5
Lee. They
heads.
always eat.
Yeah. And it will attempt a smile, revealing rows and rows of serrated teeth.
Yeah. We'll see, Soul. We'll see.
in Abyssal, what Cole's saying basically roughly translates to, "Look who's housed my handsome boy! Oh my gosh, you're getting so big! Have you been behaving yourself?"
God, what is Cole saying to that child? It sounds hideous.
I'm not gonna question it.
Okay, all right.
The child, in an equally hideous tone that sounds like common being spoken backwards with layering, confirms that he's been eating all of his meats, that he has been growing big, his little legs hurt.
Growth
He
pains.
says that he got to have a thimble of whiskey, and he points at Kawapake and says that he wasn't supposed to tell you.
Logically.
But he has been behaving. And also he
Oh.
asks if he brought anything back for him.
Oh no!
Oh man, hold on. Takes out
Bugged it,
the
son.
no, he takes out the ring of warmth. The one with little foxes. He holds it out and says,
Yeah, why wasn't he? Actually, that's a good point. Why wasn't Cole using that when we were on the back of the fucking polar bear? So it kept him warm.
Kwali takes it, and he wants to be put down because he wants to show everybody.
Cole kisses his forehead before putting him down and allowing him to like take Namira's hand and go, or just go off and tell everybody.
He takes the ring, and this 6-year-old is probably the only person allowed free reign of the camp. He moves from Namira, Hitzilan, to the Yuan-Ti at the other side of the camp, and he even walks up to Orvex and Rosnasi, showing them the ring and most likely enthusiastically describing it. And when his rotations are done, he returns to the group and just starts talking to Koashak, not at all caring for the group. What do you guys do for the rest of the day before you all recover from night and brace yourselves for what lays up ahead?
Soul will sort of step away from the space in order to cook some foods for Jet and Duvaneth and him.
Awesome.
I can roll that now.
Duvaneth will keep an eye on the, from afar, the way that people outside of, Rosny and Orvex are interacting throughout the camp, who sort of may be intertwined or intertwingled with whom, and sort of what the dynamics of the court, as it were, are like. Just so she can understand how business is conducted.
Right. Jet?
Jet's essentially just people watching. He doesn't really have anything else to do for the most part.
You could study Abyssal.
It's already half a day. It's not gonna really get far. Has to be a full day of just focusing on them, so.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll probably just people watch and see what's going on.
Look, where's Rayland?
Motherfucker left.
He abandoned his boy.
He did his
sort
job.
Of footing the... Yeah, sort of. Flitting about amongst the people, Raylan seems very comfortable among the court. As the party winds down and starts to rest in for the night. Duvaneth, with your experience in understanding court dynamics and taking the time to understand it, Kwake, besides Raznasi, seems to have the highest position in the hierarchy, so to speak. And the closest you could describe her position is probably Spy Master. She seems to be the one sort of in charge of the information as it flows around, and in charge of dispensing who needs to know what. Namira is at the bottom of this social hierarchy and seems to be reduced to just a servant, but not one that's trusted with food or even clothes. Hitsilan seems to take on the position closest to a doctor, and the Yuanti at the far end, who you soon learn is a Katsali, seems to be more of a cleric, someone of guidance and so on and so forth. If that answers your question at all.
Nope, that's pretty much what I was looking for.
Right. Jet, as you're people watching, you pick up on that Titsilan is having trouble adjusting himself to being a part of Rosnasi's court. He must have enjoyed some level of freedom that he isn't getting here, and Fenthalza's court might have been more informal, as he is struggling to address everybody correctly. There's a few times that he slips up and seems to call Kuwatleke something an abyssal that gets her very deeply offended and makes the Hydra rear up. Quetzali really likes gambling and keeps asking anybody to play cards with him. He hasn't approached the party, but he's pretty interested in talking to you. So the doggo, you're able to cook up a fine meal. You're only allowed access to meat, and the party was very obviously given the lowest of meats, but it's still good cuts.
Yeah. He makes a stew.
Wonderful. Koshok, it's like you never left, except everything has changed, and every interaction you have is uncomfortable and has a layer of tension. Except for Sweet Koali, who seems completely unaffected by everything. For all that the Yuanti are doing, they seem to be pretty careful about not letting it impact Koali. As far as he's concerned, this is a vacation. And that they're just kind of on a little adventure.
Cole will do his best to kind of navigate how things have changed. Around Kuali, he before used to be able to do doublespeak pretty well, I think. But now he's got to get back into the rhythm of doing it, or speaking very quietly. But whenever he's not focused on Koali, he's observing the new dynamics and everything that's been going on.
Before you had left, Rosnasi had been at the sort of linchpin of all of the operations, but he was a very effective ruler and knew how to delegate and keep the power very balanced. Here it's skewed, and it's skewed almost entirely to his side. The party will not encounter any troubles during the night, but you guys will gain only the benefits of a short rest. As there's a giant man-eating Hydra right there. And also, several people want to kill you.
Valid. For the guns to work, is it every long rest, like for the sending, or is it like an every dawn kind of thing?
Can you pull up the rules? Because
I
I was pretty specific on my wording, but I can't remember what I did.
I mean, I have it set as a long rest. Let me just. It says once per day, per what I copied and pasted.
So it's probably at a dawn.
Okay.
Okay, yay, cool.
Then
Soul would just immediately show up by Duvanith when she wakes up from her meditation. Can I borrow your guns?
I don't know if they'll work.
Oh, thank you. And he thinks really hard about this. Then he'll sort of stop and be like, "How does these work?"
You have to like say that you're sending a message to the. I just woke up, so you have to.
I didn't think you slept.
It's somewhere in between. I don't even know anymore. You have to like preface it with like, I am sending a message to, or I intend to send the following message to, that type of.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Then I am sending a message to Semper? Hi, darling.
Okay.
I hope you're well. Your father and I are okay. Love you so much. See you soon. That's 24.
All right. You don't get a response.
That's fair. It's early in the morning. It went through though, right?
Yeah, you heard the the chimes.
Okay. I got the please.
Yeah, no, I
record
killed
message.
your daughter.
I would have driven down to North Carolina and been like, "Hey, what the fuck?"
And that will end today's session.
Yay!
Next session, we start
That
all the
was a lot,
crazy
y'all.
shit. That was.
I've never talked so much during a session in my life.
Alright. Thanks for all who came out. Guess next session we're trying to go to a moo.
It's happening.
It's
It's happening.
fuckers.
Thanks to everyone who came out, and we'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.